was having safe food and ending the chronic disease epidemic. Our children are now the unhealthiest, sickest children in the world. Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want the chemicals out of our food? And don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption?
So is RFK right? Those stats are pretty real that I'm about to share with you. 40% of children are overweight and obese. 36% of kids have mental, emotional, or behavioral disorders. Autism rate is stunning, 1 in 22 in certain states. Young adult cancers are up 79%. We're on track to have 1 in 12 American adults with cancer in their lifetime. These numbers are stunning, and they're going up. 75% of American adults over the age of 55 have some type of chronic illness. It might even be you. So our food is getting us sick intentionally. That is the main reason. And pure profit is another reason. Big pharma behind it. Overall, that's the premise of the #1 best-selling book in the country, Good Energy, The Surprising Connection Between Metabolism and Limitless Health. Casey Means, welcome back to the show. You were nodding when RFK was talking. You believe he could make a difference in the principles you wrote about.
It's historic that this is being talked about at the presidential level. Brian, it's actually very simple. Americans are getting increasingly and astronomically chronically ill, and it is largely because of our toxic, ultra-processed food system. There are 3 things that we really need to focus on to turn the tide that is destroying American health, and RFK is talking about them. The first is that we have to fix the incentives that are making the unhealthy food toxic, cheap, and affordable for Americans. We need to incentivize healthy foods being the cheapest foods on the shelf. The second thing we need to do is get the conflicts of interest out of the food science and the government agencies that control our food guidelines. And the third is that we need to improve medical education. So those are the 3 things that RFK is talking about that are so important for turning the tides.
And sometimes people say government's the problem. Not here. It would be government could fix it. Now, fix the incentives. So I got to get farmers, incentivize them to grow differently?
So right now, Brian, the Farm Bill is a $500 billion bill that's renewed every 5 years. And currently, the vast majority of the spending goes towards supporting farmers to grow commodity crops that are largely turned into ultra-processed cheap food. This is why the cheap food is the unhealthy food, because taxpayers are subsidizing it.
Right.
So we need to incentivize farmers to actually be growing the food that makes us healthy. And right now, that is only 0.1% of the Farm Bill subsidies. The second incentive piece is that a lot of the Farm Bill goes towards food assistance programs like SNAP and WIC. And right now, SNAP, which supports over 10% of the U.S. population, 10% of that budget is going straight to soda, and about 55% is going to ultra-processed foods. So taxpayer money is being incentivized to go straight into the hands of these diabetes water companies and ultra-processed food companies. We could change those incentives rapidly to make each dollar spent on SNAP more effective, more valuable if it goes towards real food that keeps us healthy. And then the third incentive piece is that we need to think about tax advantage dollars like HSA and FSA. Right now, these amazing programs that let us use tax advantage dollars towards health, they're mostly going towards drugs. We could steer those HSA dollars towards preventative tactics like food as medicine and nutrition.
So when Trump says, if I get elected, I'm going to put him in charge, you believe he knows it so well. RFK could do this. Time Magazine pushing back. I mean, look at this headline. I know this got a lot of publicity for your book because it's so ridiculous. What if ultra-processed foods aren't as bad as you think? What would you think about the content of that column and the premise?
This article was laughable. Of course, this article crops up right after RFK says he's committing to make America healthy again with the help of Donald Trump. This article sprung a outrage from the American public, with tens of thousands of people going to social media in hordes saying that this is ridiculous. We are not going to be gaslit by the media anymore about common sense about nutrition. We all know that frankenfoods that come from a factory that are filled with toxic additives that are banned in Europe are not healthy for us. Real food from the ground, from sustainable soil, is what is good for our health. And this article tried to seed doubt in it with the normal media playbook of questioning the science and invoking social justice talking points to talk about how we could never get rid of ultra-processed food and normalizing it. But we need to realize the ubiquity of ultra-processed food that is making Americans just astronomically ill. This cropped up in the 1980s. That's when it started skyrocketing, and that's when we started getting sick. So the American public knows. And the astonishing thing is that after people took to outrage on social media and RFK posted about this, they changed the title of the article because they knew it was so absurd. Right.
And just so to show you, if you went over the American family, tell them how to eat better and make it affordable. Casey, you've done that, and Time Magazine sold a whole bunch of your copies. We don't have time for it, but Joe Rogan talked about it. That helped, too. Good energy. Great job. Thanks so much, Casey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.